When the coronavirus hit New York City in March 2020, performing arts venues were forced to close and jobs were lost, leaving a devastating impact on the musicians who played live music at shows. Like Kyle Hoyt, who plays the French horn and has played at venues like the New York City Ballet and Syracuse Symphony Orchestra. Or Joanna Maurer, an experienced violinist who has played with the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra since 2003. And Dean LeBlanc, who is a clarinetist at the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra, who dreamed his whole life to become a musician. For Hoyt, the loss of live music gigs led to him making a very important financial decision.
If I got COVID, I would potentially be getting permanent lung damage. So I'm stuck between $500 a week from New York State and with no federal subsidy in this point in time, to between that and exposing myself to COVID. So what do? What did I do? I sold my house.
As classical musicians have had to pivot to virtual performances, it has been reported that the concert industry lost $30 billion in revenue, and over 80,000 entertainment and leisure workers lost their job.
Musicians are, individuals are really suffering profoundly. A lot of people have had to move out of New York City and are really having a tough time selling instruments, selling all kinds of things. But the institutions are suffering as well.
That's where the organization Save New York City Musicians comes in, which Maurer and LeBlanc started with the help of Local 802, the largest union in the world for musicians. The organization has raised money and highlighted musicians' struggles throughout the pandemic. The musicians involved hope that people are reminded that musicians have been hurt from the pandemic and will be some of the last to recover.
Everything. I mean, everywhere you go, you hear music. Everywhere you go into the drugstore, there's music. We're the people who are on those recordings that you hear. Recordings for major motion pictures, that music doesn't come from thin air. It comes from us, it's the people, we're the ones actually on those recordings doing it. So everywhere you hear music, just think about us. We're the ones doing that. And, it's really important for people to know that music comes from people, it's not from machines.
The three musicians remain optimistic for the future of live music, and New York City announced that by April, live music venues could reopen at limited capacity. And so the band plays on. Reporting for New York City News Service, Natalie Hernandez.